my X factors going into this game one and for the whole series was Robert Williams and Al Horford. Al Horford, 26 points. Robert Williams, 8 points, I think 6 rebounds, but he had 4 blocks. And I can't count how many times he altered shots and got deflections and stuff like that. And I thought that was the difference in the game because I think he might have had like 3 or 4 offensive rebounds as well, and he led the league in offensive rebounds this season. So, with that being said, man, I wasn't surprised that they won game 1. I still picked the Warriors in 7. I think it's going to be a fantastic series, and I'm just looking forward to see, this battle between 2 evenly matched teams.
When guys like Jason Tatum can't show up in terms of scoring, he can show up another asset. He got more assists than he did points. That was big. 3 of 17 shooting performance was a little rough, but you got guys like you said, Al Horford dropping the 26 bomb. That was huge. 6 for 8 3-point percentage for Al Horford. Big 3 for the lead.
Yep.
Big effort on the board, getting second chance points. Big and 1 to pretty much seal the game. About Marcus Smart, when he scores, they win. That's pretty much a simple way of summing this series up. Marcus Smart, when he scores more than 20 in the NBA playoffs, Celtics are 5-0. He had 18 last night. Wasn't really a 20-point performance like, the statistic, but 4-7 from 3. I think if he can repeat that in another game, I think it's pretty much obvious he'll be able to stay around that 20-point margin, and that productivity from both sides of him. The defensive player of the year also giving him a 20 a game. He outscored Clay. So their number 2 now is getting more efficient than almost the most efficient number 2 in history. How do you feel about, Klay Thompson? Is it the injury that's kind of shelling him out, or what do you think's going on? He just got an answer last night.
Nah, Klay made some tough shots last night. He made some timely shots last night, especially in the first half. I think they got a little caught up with trying to get stuff going a little bit too much in that second half. It was running a lot of double screens and stuff was coming off the screens and stuff like that. And they did a good job. Jaylen Brown did a great job of shadowing Klay Thompson in that second half. I mean, he got loose a couple times and was able to make some shots, but for the most part, Jaylen Brown did a good job of bumping him, holding him a little bit. The referees didn't have a quick whistle last night, and I remember Magic Johnson saying pregame, he says if they have a quick whistle, it's going to favor Golden State.
Of course. If
they don't have a quick whistle, it's going to favor Boston. And you saw that especially in the second half because Marcus Smart, Jaylen Brown, Tatum, they was bumping them, coming off them screens, holding them, dead legging them. They was doing a lot of different things to aggravate them. And on the offensive end, Al Horford, Robert Williams, they were just bullying them down low. You saw the play when Al Horford got the ball on Draymond Green and he posted him up and Draymond Green tried to flop, but they called the foul on Draymond Green. But that's the kind of play, that's the kind of winning plays that Boston's going to need if they want to win this series.
It seems like Draymond Green is just becoming, almost a shell of his former self, especially in these primetime moments. He goes 0 for 4 last night. What does he score? 4 points total. There's even a lot of times where, he doesn't do what he used to do as well, like whether it be the screens. He's getting called for a lot of legal screens, a lot of moving screens, situations like that. Pretty much looking towards the NBA Finals, though, Game 2. Who do you see? You see Golden State answering back and tying this up?
I see Golden State definitely bouncing back in Game 2, making this thing 1-1. I think Steve Kerr is going to make adjustments. He always figures out a way to counter what you've done. The prior game that they lost, even if the game was close and they won, he always make adjustments. What has to be demoralizing a little bit if you're the Warriors is Tatum didn't even play a good game.
Right.
Although he did lead the game with 13 assists, which that was very impressive because he didn't try to force the issue. He saw Jaylen Brown getting off. He saw Al Horford getting off. He saw Marcus Smart making some big shots, Derek White. And he said, you know what? I'm not hitting. Let me get these guys involved. I'm not going to try to force the issue. But if you go to State, you like, man, Tatum ain't going to keep playing like that.
Of course not.
Right? So, but I still think in all, man, the Warriors going to figure a way to come back and bounce back in Game 2. And like I said it all along. I think it's going 7 games.
I think this highlights the head coach of Boston, Emi's. It highlights his ability to find character or just find a skill in someone that they yet haven't established and whatnot. Jason Tatum wasn't really that good of a playmaker. He showed up in Boston. He wanted to get Jason Tatum more active on the ball handling side of things, on the distributing side of things, and he goes out there and puts on this performance. So when he has a bad game, now he's still able to impact it and lead his guys to a Game 1 victory, like you said. Same thing with Steph, kind of Steph's guys around him, the starters combined for 5 for 18, 27% from three. It's rough. Yeah. A lot of it was, like you said, they're kind of trying to force the hand. They got down, they got bit, and they were looking to go to, I guess, the hand that was hot. Steph Curry shot 50% from three, but in the end, he wasn't able to do it when guys like Clay scored 15, Wiggins got 20, Draymond got 4. He needs, when guys like Horford are scoring 26, and then Marcus is scoring 18, and you got threes draining left, right, and center, you're going to have to, play the numbers game with them. They had a 38 third quarter. Yeah, they were good, but then Boston comes out and says, yeah, you're good, but we're a little bit better. We're a little bit younger, a little bit faster. Do you think maybe is the scheme getting figured out in Golden State, or are they just playing a really rough defense?
Nah, man, Golden State is still a premier offensive team in the league, man. Boston is the number one defensive team in the NBA. You got the defensive player of the year on their team. And Tatum and Jaylen Brown are two-way players,
right?
Which you don't see too many star players. Well, you don't see too many teams having multiple star players in their team that's two-way players. You might have one, but two, Jaylen Brown and Tatum, they want to D up. They want to sit down and guard you and bump you and aggravate you and agitate you. And then Marcus Smart, he speaks for himself. And I think Robert Williams is arguably the best rim protector in the game. His explosiveness, the way he can close out, switch on pick and roll, he just do a lot of different things that helps you defensively. And I think, even with all of that being said, I still feel like Golden State gonna make an adjustment, man, and figure some things out to win game 2.
Yeah, they got a lot of good experience. They've been in 6 NBA finals in the past 8 years. Steve Kerr's got that grit about him. He's a tough coach, been around a lot of good, impactful guys, good influence. And Steph embodies pretty much everything that you'd want in a star player. Steph is the most, I guess you could say, charitable, charismatic, positive, uplifting guy. He really does no wrong, so to speak. I mean, the worst thing he probably did was throw a mouthpiece at the owner's son in Cleveland. That's probably about it.
Yeah.
But speaking more about Steph, there's been a lot of topic of discussion about whether or not the lack of a Finals MVP is affecting his legacy. Mm-hmm. I feel like I don't think so, because like I said, Steph is kind of selfless. He lets guys come in and, take a little bit of the points, take a little bit of the load off. He's going to fulfill his role, but in the end, he wants to win, and it looks like he's doing it well.
Yeah, I mean, that first quarter, 6 threes, and I think Boston had some mental lapses, because I think out of the 6, maybe 2 or 3 of them, he was just wide open. But if you paid attention to the game, they had Marcus Smart mic'd up. And Marcus Smart was talking about how, man, we got to get in him earlier when he come across the half court, when they try to set that down screen and try to make him run off the 3-point line. And I thought they just kind of got lost a little bit in that first quarter, and Steph made him pay. But in the second quarter, he didn't score a point. And he got him in foul trouble. And I thought that played a big factor into why they was able to go up 2 at the half. But I'm going to tell you a key, I think, in game 2. Kuminga didn't play a minute in game 1, which I thought was very surprising. Right. Looney, I know Kerr likes Looney. Tough, rebounds the ball. I think Kuminga brings more to the game. I think Kuminga could match Robert Williams' energy and his athleticism on both sides of the floor. So I look to see them insert Kuminga more. And he's offensively better than Looney. So I think that could be a key factor. I think Gary Payton Jr., I thought he would get at least 8 to 10 minute last game. He didn't even get any time, and he's one of their better defenders.
Yeah.
So
the mitten.
Yep. So I think those two could probably contribute mightily in game 2.